Vintage, recycle, retro, upcycle. If it's old, we are gobbling it up. At the moment, we are caught in an era where reboots, spin-offs, reshoots, prequels, and remakes are more commonly produced than new original stories. Popular media is banking on the popularity of brands and products that brought adults fond memories when they were kids. Now that kids that were growing up in the 80s and 90s are adults and have disposable income, they're willing to spend that money on products that brought them good memories when they were kids. And companies love to capitalize on how you resonate with products, and the public just keeps eating it up, especially if they're parents wanting to share those same memories and create memories with their own kids using products, brands, franchises that they may have watched growing up when they were younger. And this is the same ideology that is used for franchises as well. If a particular franchise was successful once before, it makes sense to put more money behind the franchise that was successful than take a chance on a daring new project. Actually, I think a recent episode of the Animaniacs reboot did have a song on this particular topic. To that point, if entertainment companies do take a chance on a daring new project, there's a good chance that the setting will take place in the past. But no one has understood the assignment more than Stranger Things. Stranger Things has become the golden child of delivering on nostalgia. I think it can be said that Stranger Things laid the foundation for other nostalgic stories that would come later. How do they do it? How are the Stranger Things creators able to tap into our childhood and give us tingles as we're watching the show? Well, I am here to tell you that those tingles are purposely occurring, and that was the intention all along from the creators. They wanted to give you the tingles. Every small and minute detail was thought of when creating Stranger Things. They wanted to achieve a similar look and feel from 80s media. They even overlaid film grain from the 80s to master that iconic 80s look. But the appearance alone didn't just give us nostalgia as we were watching, because we all know that the music plays a huge part in it. The true star of Stranger Things is that damn fine music score. Their soundtrack playlist of hits make viewers reminisce and want to put on neon spandex. We'll get to their usage of Running Up That Hill by Kate Bush in a bit, but before we do have to cover the vaporwave music score. The original Stranger Things soundtrack is composed by Kyle Dixon and Michael Stein of the electronic band Survive. Initially, Kyle and Michael received a random email from the Duffer Brothers expressing how much they loved their music, and they were using their music in a mock trailer for Stranger Things. Kyle and Michael decided to watch the trailer and absolutely loved it, and they were down for the Stranger Things movement. Their use of genres like new wave, synth pop, vaporwave, and lo-fi are paired with familiar scenes. These genres also draw predominantly from 1980s films, video games, and cartoons. The use of a nostalgic music score paired with top hits from that era makes viewers long for simpler times. Season 4's playlist includes hits that are sure to transport you back in time. The overarching theme of Season 4 is dealing with grief, trauma, and depression. Their use of songs like Running Up That Hill by Kate Bush are paired with scenes of the gang overcoming difficult challenges. And that scene of Max as she's running out of Vecna's upside down dream fantasy is iconic, and that was paired along with Running Up That Hill by Kate Bush. Immediately, that has started trending all over the internet. The plot for Season 4 also just screams and recalls back to so many 80s films. For example, the plot of Season 4 just claws at A Nightmare on Elm Street. You like that? You see what I did there? If you missed that, let me know in the comments below. The big bad villain Vecna strikes down his victims by tapping into their subconscious and weaponizing their trauma. The first victim of Vecna's is Chrissy. She's a popular cheerleader dating the star basketball player. She meets up with Eddie, the dungeon master for the gang's D&D group, to take her mind off of Vecna's visions with drugs. When she meets her ultimate end, her death is very reminiscent of Freddy's first victim, Tina in Elm Street. The first episode also featured an homage to John Badham's classic Cold War and computers thriller War Games, specifically opening scene. We also have the scenes of Nancy and Robin's visit to Victor Creel, which is hauntingly familiar to Silence of the Lambs. They've also sprinkled in references to remind you that evil is always lurking. The creators make sure to prioritize popular 80s toys and how they play a role in foreshadowing or helping out the gang. For example, when the gang visits the family video where Steve and Robin work, you can see a Freddy Krueger looming over Max in the background. This positioning could also foreshadow the troubles Max will face soon. Speaking of, Will has REM posters in his room that foreshadow the rapid eye movement of Vecna's victims. When Steve, Nancy, Robin, and Eddie are stuck in the upside down, Dustin devises a light bright technique to communicate with them. I didn't grow up during this time, but the toys and pop culture still ruled when I was growing up, so I do have memories of playing with like a light bright that maybe someone had and, you know, just handed it to me to let me play with. When I do see scenes where they use like some toys, Mr. Potato Head or even the light bright, they do kind of take me back. I even have very fond memories of going to the skating rink when I was younger. When we saw that scene of Eleven, Mike, and Will going to the skating rink, immediately gave me nostalgia. I was like tingling. But to conclude, the Duffer Brothers have formatted the perfect nostalgic layout by using a combination of just specific sounds, pop culture references, and products from that era. Although a percentage of the Stranger Things audience was not alive in the 80s, the creators are able to make certain environments, scenes, and sounds feel relatable to us that are younger and watching and didn't grow up during that time. Yeah, if you like it, make sure you subscribe.